back to the Meaningful Interviews program. This is our third interview with Rabbi Yosef Abrahams, Mashpia and Lubavitcher yeshiva in Miami. Rabbi Abrahams, I can't tell you what kind of positive feedback I've gotten so far, and it's only the beginning from the first of the three interviews in Mr. Shem. This is the third one tonight. So the Olam, the Lubavitchers and others are very excited because they think you're a Nechbel HaKelim, and maybe you are so concealed and private. You are an Nechbel HaKelim sitting over there between Lud and Miami all these years, and you're a treasure house full of memories. Baruch Hashem, at your young age, your memory is working well, and you know details. So please know that what you're doing is a service, and I'm serious. I'm not saying this to flatter you, to give you Hanifa, but you're really doing a service for Das Chabad Chasid, and I'm sure that's why you're doing it, because you wouldn't do it otherwise. It's very much not your style. So I want to ask some direct questions that one of the people.
One sec. Let me interrupt you for a second. I have here a thing that's blocking your face. This meeting is being recorded.
Yeah, it's fine.
How do I make that go away?
I don't see you, but I see you clearly. Okay.
How do you take this off? This thing is. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, now. Okay, so you see me and I can see you now. Very good.
So I have some direct questions that one of our viewers wrote to me to ask me for you to clarify. And basically, what this person wanted to know, and I also wanted to know this when I asked you this in the beginning, the avira, the environment that existed in Bedford and Dean and in 770 and in Crown Heights during the early years when you came to Lubavitch, and more particularly because you were a Yosef, you told us, and I thought it was very heartfelt when you spoke about the love you had for your father, and I could sense the feeling so many years later, and they're very deep and very profound. Nevertheless, who raised you, as a 12, 13, 14-year-old boy, your bar mitzvah? Where did you have your bar mitzvah? Who made your bar mitzvah for you? Talk a little bit about that, please.
Look, at bar mitzvah, I went home. It was the time in the summertime. So in the yeshiva Bechlal, there was very little boch, and kids left there. And actually, I used to go always in the summer, like for a week or two. I went for a Shabbos, and in the summer, I didn't go Yontif. I stayed Yontif always in 770 in New York by the Rebbe. And but then I went. So that Shabbos I was Eilul Teira there in the Maftir in the shul there, and I said a drosha.
Who was with you? Which older chassid was with you?
Where in Philadelphia? No chassid was with me.
It was just your mother.
Yeah, it could be. That's what the Rebbe mentioned, because before he told me about saying the capital Ayin Aleph, he asked me, "Wo would the mitzvah sein?" So I said in Philadelphia, by the Mama. And then after that, he said, "Song capital Ayin Aleph, und wo the sein, wird der Rebbe sein mit dir." So it could be was connected to what I mentioned about being there out of the Lubavitcher, and what the Rebbe will be with me.
What was Rabbi Lieberman there at the time in Philadelphia?
No, Rabbi Lieberman was in Chicago.
Oh, he left to Chicago already.
We left, yeah, we moved then. We moved right before Tishrei. When I went to this, I don't know exactly which day, but it was in that time that my mother moved back to Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
See, her brother and sister lived in Philadelphia. When my father came from Hungary, he came to Chicago because he had two sisters. They came before. He ran away. He was learning in the yeshiva there. It's called in the Weizen yeshiva. And then they wanted to take him in the army. So he ran away and he went to America and he went to his sisters. Then later the Rav from Hidelmarsh wrote to my Bobbe, because she was a stepdaughter. She's a Gehodevet by Mishtub, and he held her like his own daughter. Like he didn't make any differences between the children, even though she was only a Shtifkin. It was a Zibuk Sheni. So he wrote to her, I said, do a fine bocher from Hidelmarsh, from the city there, that's in Chicago. It's kedai to get a connection there and find out if they can make a shidduch with my mother. And then they wrote a letter there, and then he came to visit in Philadelphia. And von dem ist geworden der shidduch. And they lived in the beginning in Philadelphia. My father always wanted to go back to Chicago because he came lechatchila there, and he liked he had his sisters there and everything, and his craving were there. Mother's craving were in Philadelphia.
Now let me ask you.
So it came a time when he decided we're going to move there.
I understand.
He passed away, and then now she came back. She lived the whole time.
How old was he when he passed away?
50 years old.
50. Did your mother ever remarry?
She remarried like 6 years later, 7 years later.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you have brothers and sisters?
A sister.
And is she still alive?
No, she passed away.
And she lived all her years in
She's older than me. She's older. I'm not the poor. She's older than me.
And she lived in Philadelphia all her years?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she had children?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, your father came from Chasidim?
Hidelmarsh they went with Streimler. Yeah, I don't know exactly. Look, I was very young and I didn't know them. I didn't ask him too many shilas. At Kedekach, when I came to, we met a Korev that from Hidelmarsh, that's from the Mishpoche, from the son of the Rav of Hidelmarsh. So when I was in Eretz you lived in Yerushalayim. So when we were speaking, then it was my first time. I said, Yosef. Yosef Abrahams, the baker from Hidelmarsh. He was a baker, my grandfather.
Now, okay, so.
And this was a Chassidish shtad. It was they all went to the Weiber, the Ogegol Tahor, and all the Bochim from Hidelmarsh, the Rav was Masada, they should all go to the yeshiva, and then was
and your
exactly
mother,
what Chasidim they were, I don't know.
And your mother came from Europe as well?
Yeah. My brother came. Her brother came earlier, and
But where did they come from? Where from?
They lived close to Hidelmarsh.
Oh, so your mother was also
not
Hungarian.
From there. My Bobbe lived in Hidelmarsh lechatchila because she was a stepdaughter by the Rav of Hidelmarsh, and after she got married, she lived in a dorf nicht weit von Hidelmarsh.
Okay, so basically she was also Hungarian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Now it's not Hungary; it's Romania.
Romania.
That part of Hungary, they had in the Gvulis.
Right.
They spoke Hungarian, and they were like, but now it's after the World War, it became Romania, part of Romania.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go hopefully to Romania. My father's from Romania. We're going to take my father there. So maybe your son will take you. Maybe your son will take you to Hidelmarsh. Anyway, listen to this. So, who taught you for your bar mitzvah, your drosha, to how to put on tefillin? Who?
I don't remember exactly. The drosha. It could be there by Garfinkel made the drosha, and he gave it to me, and I learned it. And trop, I didn't know good, so one of the bochim taught me trop. The Haftarah, and I mean, one of the bochim there in Bedford, not some 70.
You mean one of the bochim in Beis
They had their
Medrash?
bochim till 17, 18. They were in Bedford.
Right. So now, in the dormitory in Bedford, there slept both younger bochim like yourself, elementary, Mesifta, and Beis Medrash bochim. Is that right?
Beis Medrash, you mean Beis Medrash
Of Bedford and
Dean?
Dean.
Was it a Beis Medrash in Bedford?
Yeah.
Besifta, there was called two kittas when they started learning Teisvis. Rabbi Garfinkel, Rabbi Ushpal, that was the Mesifta, and then it started the Beis Medrash. Used to learn Machaleinen before, and then there was a Shir. 1 year by Rabbi Castell, and 2 years by Rabbi Mentley.
Okay.
After that, then they went to 770.
Right. So now, how many Lubavitcher boys were in your Mesifta classes? You mentioned you mentioned to me last time Gorodetsky and Yosel Zalmanov. Who else?
Gorodetsky, Yosel Zalmanov, and then there was Zisel Pekarsky. Wer noch gewesen da? Oh, Kanikov. His father was a Lubavitcher Rov in Williamsburg.
Yeah.
It's a Machset shul. He came before the Rebbe.
Yes. Were you ever in that shul? Bist du mal gewesen in that shul?
No. Who else? Zusha Poizner.
That's a sound.
You had Meir Harlik. His father was not a Lubavitcher, but he became a.
So Meir Harlik was in your class.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like 6 boys already.
Yeah, and then there was Simon. Okay, his father wasn't. He lived in Crown Heights. He was a little bit not a Chasid.
I know about this.
Close.
Yeah. You're talking about Muttle or Jerry?
Jerry Simon. No, Jerry Simon.
Jerry Simon. Yeah.
Yeah, Muttl's older.
Yeah.
Jerry Simon was in our class. Yeah. Yeah, but Salvate, his father was a Gerer Chosid.
Okay, so most of your class were Lubavitcher boys, not other boys.
You mean that? You look. You have Meir Harlig, Rader, but also Tzukum, and
I'm not.
But you had it. Look, it wasn't big kittas. Like I guess it was on 16 boys,
right?
50.
Okay, and you.
So it was mixed. There are some that stayed not Lubavitch. There was a Ungarische bocher. I don't remember his name. I think he left later.
Okay.
You had even from Williamsburg. You had from Williamsburg also.
Okay, now here's my question.
There. You have Vishnitzer bocherim. You had the whole kind.
Yeah, here's my question. Shabbos, you always stayed in the yeshiva, or for Shabbos you went to Crown Heights? And if you went to Crown Heights, did you eat with Balabatim at all, or not?
Bedford and Dean is Crown Heights, but it wasn't in the beginning a Yiddish Reilam there. Slowly, when after Tavshin Yud, Yudalev, Yud Beis, it started slowly becoming a little bit a Yiddish again.
Yeah, but I'm asking.
But not. It was never a big Yiddish again.
I know that, but what I'm asking you is, did you eat with Balabatim in Crown Heights on Shabbos and Yom Tov?
Yeah, I ate by Balabatim.
Who?
I remember the first time when I ate, I was when that's Tishrei. I ate by Rimler.
Okay.
Rimler's father.
Right.
I ate there. He was older than me, but he was like the first year of 770, I remember. Yeah.
Now, I
ate by him, and then after that, a few Shabbosim after that also, after Tishrei. And then I also there by Lasker, I was eating, I don't know, that year, the second year. I ate by Balabatim, and then when I got a little bit older, I decided that I used to a lot of times stay in the yeshiva. Used to go to the Williamsburg. They had what's his name, the butcher shop, Lamb, the Schwer from from Pinyakorf.
Oh, Langy.
Lamb, yeah. I used to buy gehackte flesh and make a geprägelt those. And we had sardines also. Then later, I from when which year was I think it's Yud Beis or Yud Aleph. I was invited Yud Aleph, I think it was. I was invited to Shmuel Zalmanov because Yosef was in my kita, and he invited me for a Pesach.
Nu, stop. Was hast du gesehen dort bei Shmuel Zalmanov Pesach? Erzähl, was du gedenkst du? What do you remember from that time?
Special on August, I don't know.
He was a big Baal Menagin. Do you remember him singing?
Singing, he used to sing by the Fabrengen.
Yeah.
At home, he used to also sing in
But did he have? He was with.
He was a Yida Alam and Nigle and Chasidus and used to also stupas to learn on our own. They don't learn the yeshiva. Learning the Tanakh, also learning and this
and he was close to the Rebbe. Did he talk about his relationship with our Rebbe at all, or?
No, I already talked. Maybe young kids, 13 years old, 14 years.
Right.
I just don't remember if I started eating after that. After that Pesach, I started eating every Shabbos, or it was a year later.
You mean if you started eating in yeshiva?
Yeah.
Okay,
look, I remember like this. If a Rimmler lived in Brownsville.
Yeah.
And then later I ate by Lasker.
Yeah.
Lasker lived in East New York.
Yeah.
I was there for 2 months or 3 months. And they made a Lubavitcher minion and it was Peretz.
Peretz Hech.
It was there, yeah. And wie ist der Schklar? Da waren there in that minion.
Okay, did you ever see Rabbi Hutner there? Rabbi Hutner?
No, never saw Rabbi Hutner.
Did you ever see him come to 770?
No.
Did you know that
the way I understood, he used to come Friday night. I don't know after the Messias if he came. It was Mamshir. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, he stopped.
And again, I wasn't
after the Messias. He stopped.
Friday night later than 770. You know what I mean? But I ate by a balabos.
So you would go back. You would walk back to yeshiva to sleep from Brownsville.
No, I slept over there. Again, I was only there by him by 2-3 months, and then by Lasker, I think in Tavshin Yudalev already. I stayed I didn't go to Balabos. Okay, I remember davening. I davened every Shabbos in the Cheder from the Friediger Rebbe. The Rebbe used to daven there till Tavshin Yudalev.
You mean the Shnasei Stove?
In the middle of the week, Shabbos, the Shag had a minion, and the Rebbe had a minion. I was never there, but in the middle of the week. Chutz from your Beis Tammuz, I was there, yeah. But like this, I wasn't there in the middle of the week. Shabbos, I used to be there. And Shabbos, the Rebbe had, they gave the aliyahs like in the time of the Friediger Rebbe. The Shag had Shlishi, and the Rebbe had Shishi. And then they gave him after
Reb Shmuel
Levit.
Yeah.
It's another thing. Not everybody knows this. The first Shabbos after Yud Shvat, it came out Yud Gimel Shvat. Yud Gimel Shvat was the
wait. No, you're talking about Tavshin Yud Aleph, not Yud.
Tavshin Yud Aleph, yeah.
After the Rebbe was Makabel the Messias, yeah.
Yeah, I'm speaking about the first Shabbos after Kabbalah and Messias.
Yes.
So they were going to call the Rebbe to Maftir.
Yeah.
Upstairs, he got, by the Fidige Rebbe, he got Shishi. But now the first Yud Shvat, he didn't daven upstairs. He davened downstairs, I think. The first, okay, maybe I'm making a mistake. Maybe my memory, I don't remember exactly. Al-Koponim Shabbos was surely downstairs.
Downstairs, you mean the first floor, the base medrash.
Yeah, the first floor, yeah, the first, with the shul, the small shul. Where now is the small shul, yeah. Upstairs, I mean by the Fidige Rebbe, on the second floor.
Right.
Then, till then, they davened on the, if I'm not mistaken, the first Yud Shvat Tovshin Yud Aleph, he davened downstairs. I am not sure though.
Okay, but what did you want to say?
Yeah, Shabbos. So they called Shmuel Levitin to Levi.
To what?
Because they were to Levi, no, the Halevi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they were not giving him after. They gave him after the Rebbe. When it came to Shishi, the Rebbe said that it should call him when Reb Shmuel soll gehen after, weil private the Yortzeit von der Fidige Rebbe's Mama. Yud Shvat.
Oh, Yud Gimel. Yud Gimel.
Von der Bobbe, von der Rebbe Rivke.
Yeah.
Yud Gimel Shvat. Nein, this is Yud Gimel Shvat.
Yeah.
Gimel Shvat is the
Yortzeit.
The Rebbe's mother, yeah. So since he's doing the Yortzeit, they should give him. But the next Shabbos already was they gave the Rebbe after.
So one second. So that means they gave it. Wait. That means they gave it Shmuel both Levi and Maftir?
Levi and Maftir, yeah.
You were there. You remember that?
Yeah. I remember that.
And then the next Shabbos.
The next Shabbos he had Maftir. And then I don't know if that Shabbos.
The Rebbe had Maftir.
After that, he went out. The Rashag left. He went to another room. He made his own minyan.
In other words, after he saw that they gave the Rebbe Maftir the second Shabbos, the third Shabbos, the Rashag was not at the minyan.
Yeah, he made his own minyan. And then the Bochrim, nobody, the Bochrim didn't go in. It was Dr. Ness. You know Dr. Ness?
Yeah, sure.
So Dr. Ness and his son used to daven with him. I think Sholem Ber Shneis. And maybe he had a few other people that were not like Chasidim or something.
Where did the Rashag make his minyan?
In the Cheder Sheni. The Cheder Sheni.
Oh, right next to the other room.
Yeah, right next there. They made the window. The window was closed, and so he went in there. Then later, but they didn't have like a minyan, or the people didn't come in or whatever. And so he made a Friday. A bocher comes over to me. Not a bocher, a kid that came over to me that the Shag is calling me. He wants me to see me in the office. So I was wondering, what's the Shag? What does he need me? What does he want from me? I started going there. Then there was a Yoske Reitzes.
Yeah.
So he was a older bocher. He saw me. He says, what's this? What's the geschehen? I'm at the Shag roof. He says, geh nicht. Don't go. I said, what? He's calling me. He says, no, he's calling you because he wants you to go into the minyan tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Don't be afraid. Don't go. Thank God I didn't go. And then it was a bottle, the minyan. After, like, I don't know if he did it for 3 Shabbos or 4 Shabbos, and then the minyan was bottled. But in the beginning, when he sat in the shul by Maftir, he put his hands over his ears, not to hear.
As I touched to ice, I mean, he used to maybe sit like that. How do you put it on the ears, not the ear? Okay.
There was one Shabbos also. There was very serious. They didn't look up to there. He used to go to Psichos Ha'orim, the Shag. And they hid the sefer that he took they hid it. And So he opened the door and he saw that his sefer Torah was not there. So he started screaming to Yechanan. Yechanan was the Gabbat.
Yeah.
Yechanan. Would he screamed loud? Would the sefer Torah? Yechanan walks over, looks inside, and he sees to the side that it's there. He says, Rabbi Geraya, was schreiter? Ot is the sefer Torah. He goes with his finger. Ot is the sefer Torah. And the Rebbe was very serious. Then they didn't look up.
In other words, the Rebbe was serious that Mechepet, the Rasha, right?
Yeah.
Right. So,
but later it does. I don't remember. It was a half a year later. I don't know if it was the first time he came was Simchas Torah.
Simchas Torah when? Tavshin Yud Beis?
I think it was Tavshin Yud Beis. I'm not sure. Yud Beis or Yud Gimel. I think it's Yud Beis. Look, these things I don't remember exactly which year.
And that year he danced with the Rebbe?
The first year was like special. Yeah. So you remember this happened in that time. It was called the
I understand.
But later, you can get mixed up. It's Yud Beis, Yud Gimel.
But that first year, you saw him dancing shoulder on shoulder with the Rebbe, yes?
Yeah, Kofis. That was upstairs. Yeah. By the Frierdiker Rebbe. That's where by the Frierdiker Rebbe, they used to all three, I guess.
What do you mean all three? What do you mean all three? No, what do you mean all three?
The Rebbe could dance. No. I mean, it could be in the Poland over. They went to office. They went.
Yeah. Okay, let me go back now. So you ate at Balabatim. When you had your bar mitzvah, it was
later I became the kviz by Zalmanov. I just don't remember. It was after the first Pesach, like the beginning, like it came out Pesach. Okay.
But 1 second.
And then later, I think a year later maybe, then I became a kviz.
But you said at a certain point you stopped. You started eating the yeshiva.
No, I stopped when it was by Protis to get Balabatim one time. A few months by this person, a few months by that person. Then later I stopped that.
Okay, I want to ask something else now. Were you the only Yosem from all the Lubavitcher boys? Were you the only Yosem in yeshiva?
I think so. In the yeshiva, the whole yeshiva, I don't know. In my class.
In your class, did you have a feeling, and it's important today, there are Bacharim that are coming from all over, young Bacharim to all the yeshivas. I think they need to hear what you went through on your own you were by yourself, basically. You know, your father passed away, your mother was in Philadelphia, and you don't come from a Lubavitcher background, and here you are in this new. So
but I was very, I had the chaverim. I was very good with chaverim. I wasn't like separate, like a lonely person or whatever. The first time I went home, I was crying at home. I felt like lonesome. I felt now the family was the yeshiva and the chaverim, and here I'm alone with my mother and this. And I was 12 years old then, and that's till you get used to everything. But I was the chaverim were together.
So you didn't feel in Tafshin Yudal Yud Beis, you didn't have any feeling of being alone.
No, I felt good with the chaverim, with all the kids and the yeshiva, and there was the excitement going with the Rebbe and going to the Fabrengens and this. No, I didn't feel anything.
Yeah. Now, when there was a Fabrengen during the week and it ended late, you walked back with older Bacharim to Bedford and Dean?
That I don't remember. I don't know. It wasn't too late. The Rebbe didn't Fabreng hours then. It was usually short Fabrenges. I don't remember exactly if it was 2 hours of Fabrengen or whatever. Like Shabbos Mavorchi, in the first years, even when there was a Maimer.
No, but I'm talking about Yud Shvat, Yud Tes Kislev, Yud Beis Tammuz.
Yud Shvat was a long Fabrenge, yeah, but you had everybody was there, all the Bochim, all the yeshiva, and whatever. How I got back there, I don't remember.
Right.
don't remember.
Now, did you have any kesher with Reb David Raskin? Was he a teacher of yours or not?
No, but he started teaching Tanya before Yale came. For Yale, sorry. He got married earlier. And he started teaching Tanya there. I don't remember if I was learning by him, and maybe maybe it was after Pesach, after he got married, maybe for a few months. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Okay, I have another question. You told us before in the previous interviews that you really developed a respect and you learned Chasidus from Reb Yoel over the years, but yet you said also like you never shared anything personal with him. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Why? Why not?
Because I never shared with anybody.
Yeah, but it's Bal Yimolit that a bocher in yeshiva, has machshavas, has issues, we're not tzaddikim, and who you would want to speak to someone, no?
No.
Okay.
I tried to solve it. Look at you like on your own. See, if your parents are someplace else, and you get to be to solve things on your own, of the elder and Mela not.
Yeah, but Rabbi Mentlich.
And I felt like a Yiras HaKovis for somebody older, I guess. It could be mixed with that also, besides being a private.
Right.
Yes, I felt more Yiras HaKovis. And then feel like a chaver, not I mean to speak, it does.
But Rabbi Mentlich probably asked you, do you have clothing? Right? He must have, Rabbi Mentlich was more fatherly. That's what I'm asking. Was anyone like more fatherly to you?
No. It could be he thought about me, but he didn't.
In other words,
my mother used to send me money every. I don't know, it was $5 every week or every 2 weeks. I should have either pay for the laundry or this and that. I never liked to ask money from it was like later in the yeshiva, the yeshiva used to give money to Bochrim, but then I never went. Till up to a certain time, I don't know, somebody thought I meant like, okay, he shouldn't be the only bocher that's not getting money from the yeshiva and whatever, something like that. And
you didn't want to take the money from the yeshiva?
I didn't feel I needed. I didn't ask her whatever. My mother sent me money. That was enough for me. I even had enough to save money. I used to buy svarim also, and I had a locker. And one time I mentally came and passed by. Somebody opened the locker. I said, "There's like a whole library in the locker." Oh,
now
then like a sale. They had sales. I mean, they had sales in Americas.
Right. Well, I would ask
this what was on sale.
What else did you see?
Now they have like a sale when they have a sale for everything.
I understand.
Like a certain sefer was in a sale.
I want to ask you a question. Besides, you said that you saw you had a Tainug Chasidus, and that really caught your attention. I want to ask.
Not only the Tainug, he was Masbe very good. The Schmack and the Hasbanim were good. I understood. I understood what he said.
But what about his Chassidischkeit, his Warmkeit, his you know what I'm saying? The culture, the Arum, the Avira.
Look, I wasn't with him a whole day. Sachaka, we learned with him an hour and a half. Sometimes he used to speak with us in the Yonix after the Shir. And we used to walk to 770 sometimes with him. And he used to verbring also with us.
Oh, so what were the verbringers? How did he verbring with you young boys?
I got to tell you the truth, I don't remember exactly. I just remember I was very, very into everything that he said, into the learning, into the verbringings. Verbring Geschmack also. It spoke to me. It had a strong effect.
Did he take mashke? With you, Bocharim, did he say you test Kislev, you Shvat? Did he take mashken and it's a tzevent or the tzalach? You know what I'm saying?
No. He spoke in Yonim and he didn't he didn't take a lot of mashke.
So, as you were, I assume you by the Nigunim when the Rebbe started to teach Nigunim. Could you share some hergation from what you remember over the years from the Nigunim? Shamil's niggin, you were there, yeah? Topshin you test, right?
Yeah.
You think Shamil's niggin?
Yeah. Rebbe was telling the whole story. When he's telling the whole story, it was like spoke about the Gaguyim. You heard like in this story, like the Nimshah already.
Yeah.
The Horim Agveim Layelim, the Gaguyim was Look, certain things I don't remember. L'shenis, I remember the Hergish then. I don't know. I took in Yoni more klolistic, you know what I mean? I didn't.
So where did you get your hadracha for avodas atfila? Reb Yoel wasn't an oivet in that sense.
Reb Yoel spoke with us about Tracht Chasidus, yeah. He spoke about Tracht Chasidus from Davenan, yeah. And he had Bochum, yeah, with the Tracht Chasidus and Shabbos. And then when I was in Montreal, I don't remember exactly if the Rebbe, when he said that we should write him, or Mashpia told us. And then I started, twice I had letters in the Yonim from the Avodas Atfila.
In letters.
Yeah.
But
and you had Yechidus, and then there was Yechidus.
Yeah, you told me about that last time. But which Chassid was it? A Peretz Mochkin? I mean, in other words, Tracht Chasidus not daven in 15 minutes. You can finish davening 15-20 minutes. But the idea of Arichas Atfila, incorporating the Tracht Chasidus.
Okay, that was more in the Ruach. The Ruach was more in the Montreal.
Uh-huh.
By the Gringlas and the Peretz.
You had a kesher with Gringlas? You had a kesher with
tell a lot of stories. Peretz used to speak a lot of stories about the Lubavitcher and the Bochum there.
You had a kesher with Gringlas? You had a keto with Gringlas or not?
I liked Peretz.
Yeah.
I felt the Mashiach at Peretz. The Gringlas was more of a Kabbalah soul. It wasn't a special kesher feeling. I felt a special kesher to Rabbi Yoel. I felt then a special kesher to Rabbi Peretz.
Yeah. What about Rabbi Tenenbaum?
The thing is, there was one bocher that he's very smart and he know how to speak with me. And I think with him I spoke also the Isaac Shvei. He was an elder bocher.
He was older. He's older than you.
Yeah. So he used to speak with me and this and later we got that he should become a mashgiach in yeshiva. There was no mashgiach.
Where? You mean in Bedford?
No, in Montreal.
Yeah.
He was the elder bocher, and we were like speaking to the Anhola that we would like to have him as mashgiach or whatever. And Then later I saw there was a letter to Gringlas that the Rebbe asked Rabbi Gringlas, "Nu was Herz wegen dem as so werden Mashgiach," and it was the. Then he became there. Then
I heard. I don't know. Did you ever see or hear that he helped Reb Yoel in the beginning with Sefer Erkim and Tofshin Chai, Tofshin Yutes? Do you remember such a thing?
No. He had a very gleiche Kop and the Hasbara. I liked him very much. I felt very close to him. He was a Pnimisdiger. I don't know. See, look, he was in Montreal. I doubted very much it was at Kidekach. I remember when he came to, look, he had a Schwager, Zeli Katzman. I know they were close together, and I think with Yale also I saw him speaking them when they were in New York.
And this is what I wanted to ask. You mentioned Zeli Katzman. I'm curious, what was his schnit? Was he more of a Baal Nigla, Baal Chasidus, a Baal Avoda? What was his?
Yeah, what I saw, look, I wasn't in the yeshiva learning when the same time when he was learning in yeshiva. Yeah, when did he get married? Which year? I guess when I was in Montreal, he got married. So I didn't see him mamish in the yeshiva. It wasn't in 770, the time when he was learning in 770. I saw him by even by Fabringens and by when he came to eat in 770, when in Bedford at night, I saw him.
But you told me that he made a big impression on you. You told me.
Yeah, the way he was, it's like heel vertraagd in Chasidus and whatever. And the time when he was standing by the Fabringen, it's just again ungequetscht of hearing jeder Wort, and it was a different type. This is not a regular standard bocher.
Now, did you have a kesher with Rabbi Tenenbaum, Rabbi Mendel Tenenbaum?
Mendel Tenenbaum was a Malamed in Philadelphia. Before he became in those, he was in Philadelphia.
Yeah, him and Itche Groner.
Nicht Meishe Groner. Itche Groner. But he wasn't there a long time. He was in the beginning. When I first came, he's also a maker of me, whatever, but he didn't stay long there. I guess he went to another place, another shlichus.
No. He went to Bedford. He went to Bedford.
No, I'm speaking about Itche Groner.
No, Itche Groner went to Buffalo.
Was there.
No, yeah. But
Tenenbaum was there, and I learned by him also.
Yeah, now Rabbi Tenenbaum got sehr good cup when they can say a good Chasidus. Reb Yoel told me.
Yeah.
So I'm asking, did you learn from him? This kid, did you?
He was a Malamed. He wasn't. It's not the Kiruv. He was a Malamed. In then I was a kid. Then how old was I then? 9 years old when I was learning. We started Gemara learning then. They skipped me in a higher kid.
Okay, so now we have a little time left. I want to ask you, what do you see? The difference you've seen Lubavitcher in the 1950s when you yourself were growing up as a young boy, as a bocher. Then you went into the 1960s and you got married and you went to Eretz Yisrael. And then the 70s, the 80s, you've seen mamish the development of Chabad all the years. What do you say about that? What's your feelings? I'll put it another way. Do you think Lubavitcher, the way it was in the 1950s, was a better Lubavitcher than it is in Tufshin Pei Beis in 2022?
What do you mean a better Lubavitcher? You mean the Talmidim? The Talmidim were better? I don't know what you mean.
Everything together. Everything. Now I understand.
It's a different. Look, you have there, and the. Don't forget, this was like a hemshech to the Der Ashishi, and it was the different.
In other words, like this, I'll be mafadic. If you had it your way, if you had a choice, would you be mechanech the bacherim today to daven more bariches and trachten mehr Chasidus and liggen in yonim pnimiyim v'chuli, compared to, Chanukah Mivtzoyim and Purim Mivtzoyim and the Merkishlichas Mivtzoyim and the
Look, I'll tell you
friendship circle.
We had then, in a way, we had also like Mivtzoyim. There was Mivtza Lulav, that was then also. Used to go out in the street and it does. There was Mesiba Shabbos. And the was noch gewesen.
Yeah, but
go Merkishlichas. In the summer went Merkishlichas.
Yeah, but it was so small until the Rebbe sent out.
And another thing, the Rebbe gemont stark Chazores Dach in the Shul.
Okay. No,
then there was the
Chazores Dach in the Shul. I mean,
don't forget the Mittwochstunde.
I know that.
The Yeshiva closed down in that time when the Mittwochstunde. There was left only maybe very few bochim in the
right,
yeshiva.
Wednesday hour, right. So the Shalom program under Rabbi Hecht, Yankel Yehuda Hecht.
Yeah. I used to go to the middle.
Okay, but I'm asking you, you're not answering the question. I'm asking you, which do you feel? Give me an honest answer, because I want the bocherim to hear this. Which, if you had a choice, what would you say? Was it better the yeshiva and the environment like it was in the 1950s or in 2022?
It matters also. See, in that time, look, there was the Tkufa before Tavshin Yud. Then was mostly American bochrim. And I don't know exactly what was the Avira. Then there was, I think there was Avdim also then, and this. And then they came the Bochum from Russia. They were Mechunachim from Reb Nissen. They were in Russia. It's a different environment than the American Bochum. And you had also the Israelis like Yosef Kahan came then and Tavshiyud. So it was a different Avira. You had in my time, Gufa, then you had the Israelis came, and then in my time, Gufa, there was a difference between the Ashti Yoren, I guess, and then Tavshiychov, Chofawev, and it was a different. He had also then later, I don't know, I wasn't in 77, they just came. Look, there's a big tkufa till the first time I came after I got married was in Tovshin Lamed, the Yeshua Tovshin Lamed I came.
You got married earlier.
I was there before the Chasna in Tovshin Chav Gimel. And then it changed. What kind of bochum there were? It changed. That's what changed. It could be later. It went back again. Changed different. But there was like a yerida a little bit in the matzah of the bochum. But then it could became better. Yeah. Then when the Lubavitcher children loved it, and yeah, the kid of what's his name, Abel Shapiro, it's stark in Chazor and this, and also they were good book. But I wasn't there then. I didn't live that in, But what I was living there was the first years in 770 Gufa, you had again slowly it became like two types of bochrim. More days they were like Americanized, and they were Americans, and then you had the Russisch. Russisch was from Gehozbetz Reb Nissen, and then later it wasn't a way. It was Yeah, but again, but each has its miles, more in pools and this. But again, later I think it changed back. It became more. See, in my time also, the last years that I was in 770, it started the Foratstak Neamener and the saying Pilpulim and this. And we started year a day, and then because we're in that age, but then it meant it was Matzia since they ever started speaking about the Foratsta learning, and Talmidim. It was Matzia to make the Shiva Talmidim that will be in Ibegem learning and those. And so he picked out 7 of the best Borchums of 70, and then the Rebbe said, and he gave in the names to the Rebbe about this, these 7, says there, so Machnechet 7 Chasidus. You should also say Pilpulim. And then they gedrucked the Pilpulim, they came out, people out Talmidim. And
yeah, I read your Pilpulim in the Pilpul Talmidim there from the Tovshin you test, no? You wrote over here.
It started your test, yeah.
Yeah, you were one of the Kanim in Chasidus, right?
In Egle.
You were a Khan in Egle and the Mashpia in Chasidus?
Yeah. Look, he took then, I don't want to speak about my godless or anything, but he took like the best Borchim. He didn't know there's going to be also in Chasidus. Like he didn't pick out Borchim, this is more my Chasidus, more than Nickel. He picked out the best Borchim, and then later they took in, it was a second level, like...
Was Avremel Shem Tov in your class? Avremel?
Yeah. We was in Kneamener. Was there Avremel Shem Tov, Itchel Reitford, Yisrael Friedman, Moshe Bogomilsky, Peretz,
Peretz Feigenstein.
Feigenstein, yeah. And then that was the first kit of that. We learned Kochim in the afternoon. We learned Kochim, and then no more the day, and then we had to learn at night also from after the Seder Chasidus. We started the Mamshel Nigler. Okay, the Meister, we gave David a Meyer.
Okay, thank you very much. Yashakoyach, Zusammen Matzlocha, and we'll say, Sei gesund.